Brain Cycler asks, my Ocarina Time Part 14 got 2 views. Well, that's not really a question, but here's my thing about Let's Plays and things similar to that format. I guess you could throw in vlogs and things that are episodic. You gotta keep coming back to them. You really gotta put your own spin on each thing you cover nowadays, I feel. Going to Let's Plays, specifically, I like how I said, we'll take it away from Let's Plays, but now we're going back. In the early days, 2007, 2008, you would be like a big player on YouTube if you just uploaded just strict game footage and talked over it. Some people, they got big just doing the game footage. But now, everyone knows what Pokemon Fire Red looks like. Everyone knows what Spider-Man for the PS1 looks like. Now we've entered this genre, this new, I want to say like territory, this era where, that whole market has been done. People already know what it's like to talk over video games. They're done with that crazy, hype that really got big over until, 2015, I'll say. But now, it's like, okay, but can you do this while you're playing the game? Can you do that? They want to be entertained with other means. That's not to say you can't just sit down and play Ocarina of Time like the good old, 2007 days. Because, everyone's already played Ocarina of Time. It's not like you're coming to YouTube as it was, but now the landscape has shifted dramatically. I want to say you really gotta change how you're it's strange to say, but change how you're doing Let's Plays and look at how you could do it differently from everyone else. Why would someone watch you play Ocarina as opposed to watching someone else play Ocarina, or just play it themselves? This question comes from Likely, who says, why the long intro? So this actually has a very simple answer, but of course, I'm lime green and I got beat around the bush a little bit. J Law uploaded a video of their take on use a skill. Okay. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing in the game. But they uploaded a video of their take on 2019's YouTube Rewind. And at that time, in YouTube Rewind history, people weren't really into YouTube Rewinds. They're very divisive ever since 2017, I'll say. And me, myself, I think there's something to love about each rewind. There's parts in there that I'm like, yeah, I can vibe with those, but that's a discussion for a different time. But J-Law's video specifically, I like, because it takes you through all of YouTube's history, basically, in such a short amount of time. It starts you at the very beginning, and then it takes you to, alright, YouTube gets bought by Google, and then it goes, through important creators, and it's a great watch. It's gonna be in the description, so you can watch it too. And another thing that it does is it goes, you know, here's some important creators to highlight in 2019, and here's some of their intros. And I'm like, well, every every YouTuber should have a good intro. So I studied their intros, and I'm like, okay, what should my intro be? If my name's Lime Green, what's a good intro for a lime? And I write like cards, greeting cards, sometimes for like birthdays or whatnot, and sometimes when I hand them out, I write like happy future birthday or happy past birthday when I'm too early or too late, and then it clicked. That's what I'll do. Resident Jevel asks, there's no way you haven't seen all these shows and played all these games. That's a question I also sometimes ask when I tune into videos and it's like, oh, first time reacting to, because I watch a lot of react content. I'm not sure why, but it just pulls me in. And it's like, first time reacting to like Toy Story, or like first time reacting to Spider-Man 1. And I'm like, how can you go into some of this stuff and not know anything, And then, like, first time reacting to Pokemon, and then they say, oh man, Pikachu? What is a Pikachu? On some instances, I'm like, that's crazy. And then, they explain, oh man, I was into, something else my entire life, or, I was in the army when this released, and I suppose my answer is something like that. The reason why I haven't played games like Sonic Mania or Ocarina of Time was, I was doing something else. You can't be playing Sonic Mania when Pokemon Ultra Moon is out here. Numberman6652 asks, what's the deal with your first video? So, there's a story that can just, like, weave off into, like, a million different ways for this one. But I'll try to keep it as concise as possible. So, my friend, they're really into, like, anime. And online, on YouTube, there's a whole, like, subculture on YouTube called fanime. It's where you, like, create your own anime series. I thought that was super cool, and one day I was like, hey, I'll just make my own fanime, and that's what I did. And in addition to that, I thought it would be super cool if my first YouTube, upload would be something really unique, right? So that's another reason why I did it. Holly and DK ask, BTS behind the scenes? There's quite a lot that goes behind the scenes that I just cut out for one reason or another. Like I was mentioning before with the long intro, sometimes that really started to fill out the library. You made the impossible possible. I owe you my thanks. You're exactly what I need. Now then. I'll send you back to your world. Oh, right. Let me show you one last secret. Hold on. There's plot. You see, this world and your world are linked. Cool, right? Just about the details. You'll understand once you get back. Now then, I doubt our paths will cross again, but farewell. Is this all a dream? All this plot happening. No, it can't be after all. I'm in a cave after all. hurrying home, I stepped into the light. I couldn't believe my eyes. The trees before me resembled ferns and were really different from the trees I walked by previously. What's going on? Have I been taken to another world? Perhaps I should take a look around. Oh, at last. Huh? This isn't your home? Yeah, I told you about the world and the cube, how they're linked, right? This is why the world you made inside the cube has become the real world. What the heck? Look, I don't know anything either. I can tell you one thing you probably want to know the most. Basically, if you want to bring modern humans to life, you might be able to return your world to normal. Easy, right? Hey, you're not mad, are you? Even if you are, throwing a fit isn't going to change anything. Since you're here anyway, why don't you use your powers to give birth to civilization and return humans to normal? Alright, your environment was a bit too cramped for modern humans, so I made it bigger. That's all. Okay, so back to the question. So I cut out a lot, and like my long intro, probably a detriment to me because I mess up on my intro a lot. I can be like, happy birthday, happy blah blah blah, and then every time I mess up my intro, I'm like, oh, alright, let's take it from the top. Or I do the intro perfect, and then I mess up something like immediately afterwards. I go, happy birthday, it's your birthday, happy late birthdays in the past, happy future birthdays in the future, my name is Lime Green, and then I forget like what to say, or I just start impromptu, right? And hoping I would know like what to say, hoping I'll just like carry the script on my own, I guess. And I'm just left there sitting awkward. And then I'm like, alright, just roll through it again. And then I go, happy birthday, it's your birthday, happy late birthday, it's in the past, happy future birthday. And then I go through the intro again. And then sometimes I'm like, did I even say my intro right? And then I gotta go through it again. And then it's a whole cycle. This next question comes from Sonic Z, and it says, what type of anime do you watch? I used to be really big into anime, watching Steins Gate, Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Naruto. I watched episodes when it came out, so when people say, oh man, I only watch like the non-filler episodes, I'm not really sure how to feel about it. Like, I appreciate you really value your time, but it's like, I was there in the trenches, But ever since like VTubing really hit the scene, that's like replaced all my anime watching time, and it kind of fills the same niche, It just feels like watching anime to me. And additionally, I'm like, what big anime really, needs to be watched right now? It doesn't really feel Free Run, I feel like, is one that has really got my eye. If, like, I got a Crunchyroll subscription, and I haven't really used it. If I were to watch something, it would probably be Free Run, and I'm probably gonna do it, but other than that, I'm like, I don't know where to, like, jump back in. That's, like, my big thing now. Like, eventually I want to watch Dragon Ball and see what all the hype's about, but other than that, it's like, what new modern shows is there to be, like, hyped about? Expedition 32 asks, what's What's your favorite type of game? Really, I think my favorite type of game are story-based games. Usually RPGs have really good stories, but not necessarily. But any type of game with a good story, I think I can vibe with it. And again, like, I'm not really drawn to one type of game. I play RPGs, action, platformer, visual novel. Only type of game that I don't think I really vibe with too much is rhythm games. I haven't found like a good rhythm. Maybe I just don't have a rhythm. That's what it is. But I don't know. Let me know your rhythm game suggestions down below. There's not too many that I know of, and there's even less I can think of that would have a good, compelling story. This one's from Get in the Car, Shinji, and it says, "What do you mean Madoka Magica is the best anime?" Well, I did a poll on the channel, right? And it was kind of from my own curiosity, and also, I ain't gonna lie, it was for a little bit of engagement, keeping the community talking, and I asked everyone, and I'm like, okay, so here's a bunch of anime that I know of, and what's the best? And I added every anime I could think of, even some that were borderline anime, like Jackie Chan Adventures, Ruby, Teen Titans, and we came to the conclusion through voting, this is like the most votes I've ever gotten on a YouTube poll, that Madoka Magica was the best anime ever. And in second place, there's ties for two second places, is Pokemon and Death Note, which is insane. Fresh from the presses, Gym Leader Jim, you're still playing Pokemon? You're cooked for real, for real. Depresso Mogs, Meowslop, hashtag NintendoIsOverParty. Well, first off, I just want to say, I was a big supporter of Power World before even that big trailer came out and everyone was like, this is just Pokemon with guns, right? So, I want to say, I don't even know where to begin. I think, like everyone's been saying, I think Power World is like a good supporter for modern Pokemon, like a supporter in being like healthy competition. And even though people were saying, oh man, Pokemon is gonna like wipe Power World off the map in like a lawyerish sense, in like a money-making sense, I don't think either of those are gonna be true. I think Power World, they know what they are. They're not Pokemon. They're Pokemon with guns, oddly enough. But, they're the people that make the Power World dating sim romance type of games. And, they make the games where you can shoot the cuddly creatures, where you can pick up the Wooloo looking creature and use it to defend yourself. They're like Digimon if they took one more step in the other direction. I think they know who the audience they're catering to, and I think Pokemon knows the audience they're catering to. And Digimon and Nexomon and Temtem and everyone kind of knows Monster Crown, their own little cultures, and I don't think anybody's really going anywhere anytime soon for the foreseeable future. Next question comes from John Mario, who of course asks, how do you find games to play? Which I will answer in a second here, because I've been playing Happy Birthdays, and I think we're about to best created humans. Humans could use tools and fire, and formed villages and settlements just like modern humans. They multiplied and evolved to become your ancestors. Isn't that really cool? It's not? Huh. Even so, I'm impressed you made it this far. Now it's time to work towards civilization. Like I said before, this is my true mission. But I can't do it by myself. As my chosen one, you must fulfill your destiny. Once you complete this mission, you might be able to return to your world. Probably. So, where do I find my games? I just had to stop for that. I spend a lot of time just browsing online stores and just going into video game stores, used stores as is. I don't do that too much. I did it that a couple days ago, actually, though, and it was very neat just to see like retro consoles for the first time and imagining what it would be like to hold them. I did a lot of garage sale shopping over the years, but I suppose the question is more so asking, how do you find games, nowadays? It would be online shopping, and then just like scrolling through all the lists and stuff. And then if you find something you like, you just go to the developer and then see everything else they make, because you can't let that developer get away from you. And then if you really like it, you try and support them any way you can. If they have like a Kickstarter or something going on, you jump on that. Like I said before in the episode, try and get your name in the credits, or get a plush toy of whatever creature is in the game. And finally, Caught Red-Handed is here with their final question, which is your favorite color actually green? Well, I hate to bring it to you guys, but I've deceived you all. Green is not my favorite color. I just use it for the cool rhyming scheme. My favorite color is like a purple or like a blue, like some of those like dark, I'm not even sure, like sunset type of colors, you know what I'm saying? But green, it's alright. I don't know, but I just really liked the lime green type of, kind of rhymey, kind of rolls off your tongue more than like indigoed purple or something. I don't know. But that's all the questions we have today. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening to all of this. And I'll see you next time for maybe we'll do another. Bye-bye.